This is the Atoll HD120, and in my opinion it is an excellent headphone amp stroke preamp which you can use in your hi-fi system. So what exactly drew me to this amplifier and why am I talking about it today? Well, for starters, the Atoll unit uses a Class A stage for its amplification section, and for under £1,000 in the under £1,000 category, I do believe that is actually quite rare. You don't often see that. Not to mention as well, it's fully discrete, so no operational op amps or anything like that have been put in this unit. So in general, I do believe the kind of technology which is being put into this, and the level of craftsmanship and that kind of thing is of a high standard. And that is definitely reflected in the overall sound, which I will get into now. So starting with the bass, it goes very, very low. Even over headphones, like even through my Odyssey LCXs, I did notice that low end rumble which you are getting. Moving up to the mid-range, and in my opinion this is the star of the show with this Atoll unit. It is simply splendid in the mid-range. It is open, expressive, lively and euphonic as well, which tends to be my preference. I will say one thing though about this particular product, and that is the internal DAC. Now obviously this unit came out 9-10 years ago, right? So I think it came out in 2014 actually, so 9 years ago. So the Burr Brown DAC chip which is inside is not necessarily going to compete with what's out there today in terms of measurements and specs and that kind of thing. That's not to say though it doesn't sound good. It does the job, right? And me personally, if I'm buying an amplifier, I prefer to have the DAC actually included in the unit itself, right? I don't really like the idea of having to go out and buy a separate DAC. I mean, if you're building a really high-end system, then obviously that could be a consideration, but at this kind of price range and this sort of level, you might just be better off having an integrated DAC. Then you don't have to spend more on cables and that kind of thing, and the system just is more integrated as a whole, and I definitely think that is something to consider. So just to recap on what I just said, I think the fact that this Atoll unit is a Class A design and also the mid-range being very good are the two standout points. The other thing to mention is that you can actually match it with the power amp it's intended to be paired with. So you could potentially have kind of an all-in-one system right there from the same brand where you can listen to headphones and speakers. The fact that it also includes a DAC as well. I think the power amp is around the same price of the preamp. I can't exactly remember the name of the power amp off the top of my head, but I will leave a link to the Atoll website in the description down below. So I think it's a fantastic value for what you're getting, and just try and look past the fact that, I'm sure most of you will, but just try and look past the fact that it is an older unit. At the end of the day, right, it's the implementation which counts, and as I said earlier, I think it being a Class A design will appeal to a lot of people. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I do hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what you think of Class A amplifiers down in the comments below, and if you do decide to go ahead and purchase this Atoll unit, please let me know down in the comments what you think. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Drop a like if you have enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy listening to music on your hi-fi.